What's up? What you just heard was an Ohana bass ukulele. It rocks. I'm going to review it in this video. Hope you enjoy it. Let's go. It's made of mahogany, all solid mahogany tone wood in the body and in the neck as well, I guess. It's been really nicely put together. Give it a close up. All very nicely done. The mahogany has a satin finish, which I really like because hopefully you can see the light reflecting on the sort of matte finish, because this thing is brand new. It starts off kind of matte, but as you pour blood, sweat and tears into playing, you end up kind of polishing the ukulele where you've touched it, as I have with this one. And I like to think of that as an indication that both you and the ukulele have become badasses, which is nice. Rosewood fretboard with 21 enormous frets. Look at these bad boys, ridiculous. The scale length is 52 centimeters. That's just longer than a baritone ukulele. So for a size comparison, tenor, soprano, bass. So pretty comparable in size. And if you've played any larger ukuleles like tenors or baritones, then you shouldn't have any trouble picking this thing up. Playing it though is a different matter, but we'll get to that later. It's got a compensated bridge, which is necessary for these huge strings. The strings are Kala Ubass strings, which is a cool name. They sound pretty thunderous, so that's good. Tuners, you turn them, the strings move. It's good. What else? The only sort of construction thing I can pick out is the nut. You can see here. Come on, focus. The nut is a little bit rough around the edges. It's kind of a little bit of a sharp edge here. Comes with a gig bag, nice fat padding, and a pouch for all your bass playing paraphernalia, so you can give your neighbours a rest and harass other people with your bass playing. So it's got a pickup, which is good news because for a bass instrument this has an extremely small resonating chamber. I mean, think acoustic bass guitar or a double bass. They're a lot bigger, so to make yourself heard if you're going to play in a group, you really need to plug this thing in. I mean, it's fine if you're in a quiet room by yourself, and I'm recording all this acoustically through a mic here, but I brought this to like a guitar thing which I do with friends, and it really couldn't be heard. Even though everyone's playing acoustic guitars, it was still just completely drowned out until we plugged it in. It's a passive pickup, so that explains the lack of any tone and volume controls. So you don't have a choice on here, all the control has to be on the amp. One thing I did notice was when I plugged this thing in, the E string, the lowest one, was noticeably quieter than the others. I'm not sure why that is. Perhaps I can demonstrate it. Okay, so I've plugged this into a small amp now. It's not a bass amp. I'll show you. It's like a little practice amp. So hopefully you can hear that the E string is a little bit quieter. If not, then let me show you. So this is that recording. E string, A, D, G. You can see it's a little bit quieter. I don't know why that is. I think maybe because the string is so thick, the tension is low or something. I don't know. Maybe it's just not vibrating as hard as the other strings. don't know. You can get Aquila strings, which are the red ones, which are quite a bit thinner. They take the thickness down from like 5mm to like 3.5 or something. So hopefully that'll bring the tension up and then get a better sound. But yeah, I'm not really sure why that is. So what's it like to play this thing as a ukulele player? Well, first of all, super fun. This is really the most fun I've had in ages. It's just really, really fun. There's some things you need to get used to, like you can't strum because it sounds rubbish, like not good, so you need to get your single note skills going on. Picking is different as well. I would usually pick like over where the neck meets the body, or over the sound hole, to make the ukulele sound nice and like deep and big. But on this, that, I don't know, it sounds like it's sort of lacking treble. You need to pick more down here. And picking doesn't sound so good because if you're pushing it sideways, the string, it kind of slaps against the fretboard sometimes, and you get a much better sound if you do your little running man. You get more sort of defined bum bum bum. But yeah, super cool. I'm still getting used to playing bass, but it's a lot of fun. There's a good bit of skill sort of transfer from ukulele if you've done any notey sort of noodling. You can do hammer-ons, you can do slides and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty much just chords that don't work. Scales are good as well, because it's tuned in fifths all the way along. Each string is 1/5 of separated from the next string, unlike on ukulele where you have the 4th interval in the middle two. So if you learn a chord here, you want to play it on a different string here, it's the same shape. Same goes for licks, like if you do. If I want to play that on this string, same shape on this string. So it's different key obviously, but the intervals are the same everywhere, which is quite nice actually. It makes the scales nice and simple. So yeah, just got to practice bass fingers, I guess. The intonation isn't perfect. I'm not sure if I'm using the word intonation correctly there, but let me demonstrate what I mean. What I mean is, if I play the harmonic up at the 12th fret, and then fret the note, they should sound the same. But there's quite a bit of difference. So yeah, when you fret the note, it's a little bit flat. See if I can show you on my big old tuner. Okay, so harmonic and fretted. Harmonic, fretted. So like 25 cents down. Harmonic and fretted. Harmonic and fretted. So that one's quite a bit down, the thinnest one. But to be honest, I don't know what you're doing up here. If you're playing all the way up at the top, then get a ukulele. Play a ukulele. You want the thunderous sounds from this thing. At least that's what I want from it. Last but not least, the most important technique of learning bass is to pull a silly face. I know this from watching many bassists play. Pretty much just gurn as if you're in terrible pain. Now you're going to get taken seriously as a bassist. So an obvious question people may be asking is, what is the difference between this and a Kala Ubass? How do they compare? Well, I haven't played any Ubasses of any sort, so I can't really compare the instruments, but in terms of price, this thing, the Ohana BKB-35E, costs £299. A Ubass, hollow acoustic like this one, costs £418, and the solid electronic Ubass costs £395. And I think Kala have recently brought out like a cheaper version of the Ubass, which also goes for around £299, but it's made of laminate mahogany, whereas this, same price, solid mahogany. So I don't know where that extra £100 is going. I think the Ubass has active pickups, so you do get a little tone and volume control on the instrument itself, which is handy, I guess. But it's quite a big price difference. So yeah, it depends. I don't know if you want to shell out the extra £100, if you think it's if it's worth it. But to be honest, I'm not sure what if the Ubass can offer £100 more of something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I said I haven't played one, so I can't really give a definitive judgment on that. What does it sound like? It sounds fat and meaty. To my ears, it sounds almost like a double bass. It has that sort of deep, throaty sort of quality about it, especially compared to other acoustic basses with metal strings. This just sounds really deep and really heavy. It's probably down to whatever this stuff is, whatever these strings are made of, and also the mahogany. But I'm going to stop talking and you can hear for yourself. So I hope you enjoyed this review, hope it was useful. See you next time.